2025 is almost over, or well, it might already be over depending on when you watch this video. Along with it, we also lost many wrestlers and WWE legends who were once part of our lives. And I dare to say that one of the most important wrestlers in all of history is gone, for many, number one. Losses are always sad, even more so when there are many wrestlers who were part of your childhood. Well, for now, I'll keep this brief, and today I'll present to you 5 WWE wrestlers who passed away in 2025.
Número 5. Zabu.
To start this video, we have the incredible Zabu, for many one of the most extreme wrestlers in the entire history of ECW and WWE. But did you know that even though Zabu passed away this year, 2025, he cheated death many times, and not just in the ring? Zabu, at 19 years old, was shot in the face after attending a late-night party. However, his death would come on May 11, 2025, after suffering a heart attack while he was sleeping. Although several sources reported that he died at 60 years old, his death certificate states that he was 61. The wrestler had his retirement match on April 18 of the same year. The wrestler Joey Janela said that Zabu should never have wrestled, and that in fact, the company where he had his last match sent him doses of a medication to briefly relieve the pain he was feeling. All of this was done to ensure his participation in the event. However, the company GCW denies that Zabu's participation in that event was the cause of his death. And although they admit that Zabu was not feeling well enough to participate in that match, they say that the wrestler would end up passing away 2 weeks after the event. Therefore, GCW is not at fault. Former friends and colleagues from the wrestling world managed to raise funds for his family that almost reached $60,000. Chris Jericho alone donated $5,000 to his friend's family. Number 4. Steve Mongo McMichael. WWE is saddened to learn that Steve Mongo McMichael has passed away. This was stated on WWE's official page, announcing the passing of a legend who, although he had a brief stint in WWE, spent more time in WCW. If we're talking about WWE, it's important to clarify that McMichael arrived there after finishing his career in the NFL. McMichael appeared ringside during WrestleMania 11 on April 2, 2000 in Hartford, Connecticut. McMichael competed against Van Bigelow, and several football players were present at ringside to prevent interference from other wrestlers. He would later continue making sporadic appearances on different company shows, including some episodes of Monday Night Raw. McMichael later found success in WCW in 1995, initially appearing as a commentator on the show Nitro. He would argue with Bobby Heenan during matches, and he would bring his dog Pepe to the commentary booth. In April 1996, Ric Flair began flirting with his wife Deborah, who would sit in the front row during the shows. Mongo didn't like this and challenged Flair and Anderson to a match with his partner Kevin Green. After having notable matches in WCW, he eventually separated from his wife Deborah in real life, and years later on a podcast, he accused Stone Cold of having stolen her from him. On April 23, 2021, McMichael announced that he had been diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. But how strange life is. Although he announced that he had ALS on April 23, 2021, on April 23, 2025, he would leave this world due to complications from ALS. At the age of 67, Ric Flair referred to McMichael as a good friend despite everything. Number 3, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is recognized as the biggest wrestling star of all time, and he helped WWE become the giant it is today. In the 1980s and 1990s, Hogan's personality, both inside and outside the ring, made him a household name in the United States and a mainstream star, starring in movies and achieving worldwide recognition. WWE is saddened to report that Hulk Hogan, a WWE Hall of Famer, has passed away, one of the most recognized figures in pop culture. Hogan helped WWE achieve global recognition in the 80s, WWE said in a post on X. The city of Clearwater, Florida, reported in a statement that police and firefighters responded to Hogan's residence after a report that he had suffered a cardiac arrest. Hogan was treated by firefighters and later taken to Morton Plant Hospital, where he was declared dead. The website TMZ was the first to report the news. The WWE Hall of Fame member was involved in major controversies throughout his life. Just to mention one, in 2015, a video surfaced in which he used insults and spoke very badly about people of other races, a moment that tarnished his legacy among many, a lot of wrestling fans and colleagues. At that time, WWE terminated his contract and removed many mentions of him from their website. Hogan passed away on July 24, 2025 at the age of 71. Although it has been revealed that he was secretly battling cancer, the cause of his death was cardiorespiratory arrest, although his children have requested that the investigation into their father's death remain ongoing. Number 2, Rick Harris. On January 22, 1990, Rick Harris made his WWE debut when he defeated Lee Peak in a dark match at a WWF Superstar taping in Miami, Florida. 4 weeks later, Harris made his first television appearance when he was defeated by Tito Santana on Primetime Wrestling. During the rest of the year, he mainly worked as an up-and-coming wrestler. He appeared in more than 100 matches and was regularly featured on television. Rick Harris was the opponent of several wrestlers who debuted in WWE. One of his most notable opponents was Goldust. In January 1991, he had his last match in WWE and then returned to WCW. Harris was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer in 2022. On December 24, 2024, Mantell reported on his podcast Storytime that Harris had stopped chemotherapy treatment and had returned home from the hospital because his health insurance had run out. Rick Harris would pass away on January 9, 2025 at the age of 76. Number 1, Knuckles Madsen. Whether someone was in WWE once, twice, or 100 times, they were there all the same and no one can take that achievement away from them. That's what happened with Knuckles Madsen, who made his television debut on NXT on May 29, 2013, competing in a battle royal for the #1 contender spot for the NXT Championship, but he didn't get it. His next appearance was on June 5, 2013, where he faced Mojo Rawley, but he was defeated. After that, we never saw him again. However, in 2025, we learned about his tragic and shocking death. It turns out that police officers were called to a house in the Rogers community near the borders of Oklahoma and Missouri shortly before midnight after receiving reports of a shooting. It turns out that in this whole incident, there was only one person with a gunshot wound, and it was Knuckles Madsen. The first responders took him to a nearby hospital where he passed away from his injuries. A spokesperson from Benton County revealed that the former wrestler was shot in the abdomen. However, no one knows if he was actually involved in the incident or if he was simply unlucky enough to be injured unintentionally. The case is still under investigation.